I'm going to read you a story that Laura McCormick has written about the authority of Jesus. Authority is the power or right to give orders, make decisions, or enforce obedience. It's who said you could do that. You can read this or show this to your children, and it tells them about Jesus and his authority in a very special example. Hi, kids. My name is Pia. I am a tilapia. A tilapia fish. A tilapia fish. I live in the Sea of Galilee. As I swim around, I see so many interesting things happening right here in the sea. I want to tell you about some of them. One day, as I was close to the shoreline, I saw lots of people gathering around. My curiosity was so strong, I just kept watching. And this man came walking into the water. He was odd looking and not wearing the same thing as other people. It looked like his clothes were made of camel skin. People followed right into the water, and he dunked them under until they were all wet, which they seemed to really like the experience. That really got my attention. So I kept watching, and all of a sudden, a man walked into the water. He was the type of man that I just couldn't look away from. He walked up to the camel skin dressed man and said a few words. And he dunked him in the water. Now, kids, picture this. A bird came straight down from the sky and landed on this special person. A voice said, "This is my beloved Son in whom I am well pleased." He was someone very important. You could just tell it. Even my little fish brain knew that. After the man left, the people left as well. So I swam around looking for what else I could tell you about what happened where I live, and was wondering why my little fish brain couldn't forget what I say when this special man walked out into water. Days come and go here in the water. I watch the other fish and see what they are doing. Watching people is interesting, but you can say a few things about fish. They are an odd group. One evening, a boat came into the water and threw a net over the sides to catch fish. We fish knew what it was because we see this happening often. So no one paid attention this evening. We fish just swam around the net and boat and minded our own business, eating and swimming. You know that net was there all night. Some of the fish actually stayed under the boat for a short rest from eating and swimming. When morning came, the net was pulled up and the boat started to go to shore. When all of a sudden the net was thrown into the sea again. And you'll never guess what. Some of the biggest and strongest fish swam just as fast as they could and got right in that net. There were 153 of them by the time I got there. I asked the fish why they swam into the net after avoiding it all night. Their answer was, "The one in authority told us to do this, so we did." I said, "You better get out of here. They will kill you." They answered, "When the one in authority tells you something, you do it." I then asked, "Who is the one that said for you to do that? And what right does this authority have to tell you to get yourself caught?" The big fish looked me right in the eye and said, "The one in authority, He's the only one who can make us or give us the choice. He gave us gills that we could live in the water and have a life. The one who spoke with the special man walked in the water and got dunked. When the voice of authority speaks, you obey. The voice of authority is God. He created all things. He made the heavens and the earth. He made the sea that we live in. He made you. When he speaks, you do as you are told. Swim on, little fish, and enjoy your life. Keep your eyes open and see what you can learn from the voice of authority. Now, I am one curious little fish. So, I start paying more attention to the things around me. Here comes that special man again. Lots of people are following. He walks a little up the side of the hill and starts talking to them. He talked for a long time. I get hungry. I nibble on some seaweed while I watch. All of a sudden, he calls some men close to him and talks to them. They walk around the crowd for a bit, then they go back and talk to the special man. He must have told them to get pans for food. He looks toward the sky and says a few words, then starts handing out foods to these men. I saw with my little fish eyes that they had 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. When they started giving people the food, but they just kept giving food away to everyone. I mean everyone. And they ate until they were full. Then the same man sent the men around to gather the 12 baskets of food they found left over. What is it about this special person? I think that voice, when the bird came, showed this special man is one of authority. I think I'll start calling him Jesus. I heard someone in the crowd say that, and it sounds like a pretty name to me. Sounds like authority to me. Something about our sea that I think you should know is we have frequent storms. They can come up quickly. They don't worry me. I just swim deeper, and I'm fine, or sometimes ride the waves for fun. People, though, don't handle storms like we do. One night, the men who follow Jesus, I think they call them a disciple or a follower, were in the boat going across the sea when a big storm came up. The disciples were afraid. All of a sudden, I could see feet above me. I mean, a person was walking on the water. Not sinking like they are supposed to. Walking. I walked closely, and I seen it was Jesus. Now, one of the disciples decided he could walk on the water. I watched closely. He stepped out of the boat and took a few steps. He glanced down toward me, and down he come. Jesus saved him and let him know if he would have kept his eyes on him, he could have walked right over to Jesus. I also witnessed Jesus one night tell the storm to be still, and the waters I was swimming in was perfectly still. He is a God-man. He is a man of authority. One day, as I swam more deeply into the sea, I felt our water thrashing. I couldn't believe my own eyes. I had to swim quickly to be safe. Pigs were running off a cliff and jumping into the sea. What a sight! There were thousands of them. I heard later that a man was living a real hard life because his mind was tormented by the devil, and Jesus told the devils to leave him alone. So the devils went into the pigs, and they ran into our waters. I think I'll stay away from that place for a long while. Life is not always so busy here in the sea, but it certainly gives my little fish brain a lot to think about. Today looks nice and clear for the people. Things have been quiet for a few days. I am going to wander a little closer to the shore and see what I can see. Oh, I do see a nice big worm on a hook that I would like to eat. I've been told by the elder fish, though, to stay away from the hooks. I wonder what one time could hurt. I'm going to watch this for a while. There goes a fish that didn't listen to the one in authority over him, and he is eating the worm. All of a sudden, he's pulled right up out of the water. One of the disciples has caught him. What in the world is that disciple doing? It looks like he's opened the fish's mouth and has taken a coin out of it. The disciple looks happy, takes the hook from the fish's mouth, and then lets him go. That fish will watch what he's doing for a while. He may have a sore place from the hook. I heard of people paying taxes. I would just imagine that Jesus told that disciple to come and get money out of a big mouth for his taxes. Jesus always does what is right, so he'll pay what he's supposed to pay, even though Jesus is a man of authority. Hey kids, why don't we keep our eyes open like Pia and see if we can do good things for people? Let's listen to the voice of authority when he tells us to do good things. I'm going to swim away now and see what other adventures I can find. I'm glad that I could tell you these things about the authority man called Jesus. There is a book called the Bible where you can read or have someone read to you, where you can find lots more things about this man. Just remember, Pia says, obey authority. Bye for now.